But anyways, so we figure out how much stone we've produced, and in this case, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Except this one does a better job, so 5. So we produce 5 stone. We say, oh, I was on 2. We'll bump it up to 7. I've produced 5 more stone. The market is used to produce gold. There's 2 guys in there. None of them are finance guys. They don't do a particularly good job, so it bumps it by 2. Food's a little bit different, which is actually why it has this extra icon, because it changes by season. In spring and summer, each person produces 2. In autumn it goes up to 3, and in winter it drops down to 1. So food is the most volatile of your resources, and it tends to be a little bit higher too. Or hopefully it's higher. So in this case, I have a minister here and a worker who both do a better job, so that's 2, 2, and an extra one here, 3 sets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 workers, but since it's spring, they actually produce 10. Each one produces 2, so that's 10 food. But the very next thing is food consumption, so we've produced 10, and then we got to eat. Every one of your workers, not your ministers, but each one of your workers consumes 1 food. So we produce 10, we eat 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it actually only goes up by 4. So that's that. And then the last one is castle production. If we had workers here, and we didn't, but if we did, each one of them wants to produce, build part of the castle, which is actually the goal of the game. So let's hopefully we had a lot more stone when we were making this move. The actual amount of stone required to build a particular piece of the castle varies. It's actually the thing that determines how hard the game is. It requires 2 stone for an easy game, 3 for medium, and 4 for hard. So if we were producing, once again, this guy gets to double 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces of the castle in an easy game that we would have to have at least 10 stone in there. So let's pretend we're playing an easy game, and we're at 22. This would jump all the way down to 12, and then we could add 5 pieces of the castle. That would be a lot in one turn, and those come from the quarry, and add them in there. There's 1, 2, 3, build a whole tower, and that little section there, and part of that tower. That's very hard to see on the screen, but you can probably get the idea. Like I said, the point of the game is to completely build the tower. So if these guys all moved over here, oops, the tower fell down, you would win the game. Now I haven't mentioned these things right here. A lot of the cards in the event deck look, I'm sure I can find one pretty easily. Yeah, like this. It says tribute to Rothschild. That is one of the 3 enemies. You have an enemy to the north, Han, to the east, Rothschild, and to the south, Joffre. You might remember those kings from Of Power and Glory if you're familiar with that game. So a lot of the cards look like this, and this represents a choice. He's asking for 6 stone. You can pay him. These will ask for generally more of a resource than the normal resource event cards, which you have to pay. You don't have much choice on. He's requesting 6 stone, and you can pay him. Move your stone down by 6, and that's the end of it. Well, not exactly, actually. Oops, destroying my castle. This right here tracks the hostility that a particular king has towards you. It starts at 0, goes up to 5. So if you pay him, it actually goes down. He gets a little happier with you. Or you can refuse it. You don't have to pay it. If you don't pay it, well, hostilities go up. He gets mad at you. But he's also going to attack. And the strength of which he attacks you with is determined by this little marker right here. On 3, he was going to attack with 3 dice. That's what these dice are for during an attack. You defend by placing workers in a barracks. These red guys are soldiers. They actually do twice the work in a barracks. So right here, ministers actually do not contribute to defense in a barracks, with one exception. That is the combat minister. He is a +1 there, but as a general rule, they don't. So in this case, 1, 2, 3. That's a defensive 3. He's attacking with 3. So you actually balance out, and there's no reason to actually go through rolling the dice. But let's say this guy isn't there. Now we have 1, 2, a defensive 2, and he's attacking with 3. So we're going to take 3 dice. Let's move those out of the way. And we're going to roll them. And we got 2 greens and a black. So I can cancel out 2 of them because I have a defensive 2, and I get to pick which 2. We'll just say I'm going to cancel those 2 out. That leaves 1 green. That means every green worker on the board just got killed. So they come off the board. Hopefully not fly quite that far. They can come back. Remember, if you go to the university, you can pull them back. But they do come off the board. So that's something you need to be worried about. There are other ways that workers can die. There's plague, and if you run out of food, you can. Some of the workers may die from hunger too. There are 2 ways to lose the game. One is if all your workers die. The other way is if you ever need a resource and you cannot provide it. That's another way to lose. Gold is a little special, because if you ever run out of some of the other resource, like stone, you can always exchange 2 gold for 1 of any other resource at any point in time. So really, you need to keep your eye on the gold. That's really kind of the governor for that way to lose. Let's see. One more aspect I haven't told you about, and this is a little out of order, but these workers here, the black ones, are scholars. They don't naturally come out with any special ability. But the other thing you can do in the university, instead of just pulling new workers on, is you can make these scholars earn degrees. There's these 5 rings right here, which are color-coded to the other 5 types. And as he learns these things, he can start to act. I don't know if you can see that very well. He's got a blue and a red ring on him. He can act like a blue or a red. He could be a soldier, or blue is a doctor. So he can act like a soldier or a doctor. Doctors go generally to the hospital to produce medicine. So the scholars start off being the weakest units because they're not special in anything, but they can actually be the most powerful ones. And there's a total of 5 rings, and you have 2 scholars, so you can divide them up however you wanted. And now these guys are the most flexible. If one of these guys dies, you lose the rings, but they just go back to the university, and you could use them again. Okay, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. If I've forgotten something, you can certainly check out the rules, and those go into everything in a lot more exhaustive detail than I can do right here. But that's it in a nutshell. You're trying to build a castle, hopefully avoiding death. That's it. Thank you.